Hi, it's Joy Foster, founder of TechPixies and the host of the Sparkle and Thrive podcast. And we've got a really exciting podcast for you. I say this every week, but that's because every week we have a really exciting podcast. This is actually a guest who's been on the show before and is coming back to give us an update, but also we have a very exciting announcement about a collaboration between our two companies. So Sarah Jordan, welcome to the Sparkle and Thrive podcast. She is the founder of Y.O.U Underwear. That's Y-O-U. And I'd love for you to tell your story. Obviously, when you came on the podcast a while ago, you were just starting on this adventure, and now you're much further on. So introduce yourself, tell everybody about you and what you do.
Thank you, Joy. Thank you for inviting me back. It's nice to see you again. Yeah, it's been a while. We are now sort of 5 years into the business, starting to see the impact in terms of what we're trying to do, which is kind of tackling period poverty by providing underwear. It's all about pants. We have just been in our shop for 2 years now, which is where I am today. And it's really grown from the original inspiration, which is, as I said, trying to tackle period poverty. I was volunteering in Uganda and saw the problems associated with not having underwear, particularly on women and girls who can't go to school, can miss kind of 25% of their education just because of a pair of pants. That is something that we take for granted, but has a huge impact. And that was the kind of driver. And then starting to look into it, can't be that hard. How can we provide underwear? How do you manufacture it? And discovered all of the problems through the supply chain, which is notoriously terrible in terms of particularly treatment of women. So the fashion industry is really bad, and conventional cotton and just the pollution, the pesticides, that whole piece. And ended up, the short version is kind of joining the dots and setting up a business where we source everything sustainably. So we know where the cotton is grown. We can trace it right the way back through the supply chain. And it's organic cotton. It's all fair trade. Everybody's paid and treated fairly. And then we donate 2 pairs for every pair we sell. And then it's kind of grown from there in terms of some of the values and around inclusivity, body positivity, some of the messaging, and just support for women and girls through everything that we do.
Well, and you were the first model, I believe, for your own underwear.
Yes, luckily haven't done that for a little while, but it is real models. So it's all friends and family. We've got a big picture of some of my friends, my mum in the shop, and it's all about just celebrating real bodies, because it is important. What we tend to see in magazines and online is not always real. It's definitely highly edited. So it's important that we kind of, particularly for younger girls, that we just show real bodies in all their glory and celebrate that.
So the last time you were on the podcast, I said to you, we have to make a pair of Brave pants. I really want a pair of Brave pants. And then a couple years went by, and then I get this email out of the blue from Sarah that says, we've done it. We've made the Brave pants. Actually, no, it wasn't even that. You popped them into the post to me. So I've got a lovely little package here. You can hear me crinkling it in the microphone. But this is my package that came from Sarah, and I was so excited about it. So if you're not watching, I'm going to describe what I'm opening right now, which is a pair of pants, which have stars on them, and I haven't worn them yet. I've been saving it for today. Look, Sarah's got hers. And on the inside, this is my favorite part, because this is where we know it's TechPixies Brave Pants. It says, "You sparkle." And I absolutely love that. So Sarah, talk to everybody about, first of all, so we're going to put the link where you can buy your own Brave Pants. And we are also gifting these to all of our alumni who come and tell their stories at our boot camps and things. And they're very excited about them, Sarah. So I can't wait to get the first orders out to them. But tell us more about, well, a couple of things. Tell us what the Y.O.U stands for. But also tell us more about our Brave Pants. I'm so excited about our Brave Pants.
They're amazing. So Y.O.U stands for Your Own Underwear, basically because we think everybody deserves exactly that. So it's kind of going back to the origin and inspiration behind the business in providing underwear. And we just think everybody deserves that. So that's where the kind of giving back model comes from. Yeah, we've been talking about this. Everything that you do has the stars and the sparkle. And I've always wanted, when we had these designs, I was like, this is perfect. And I've always wanted to do it. We are slow fashion. It takes a while. It always takes a lot longer than we hope. to get things out, but that's kind of one of the principles of it. So it has taken us a couple of years, but we finally have our sparkle pants. And since the beginning, we've always had a little message in them. So it's on the inside because it's for you. It's not for anybody else. And it says, so our brand sort of slogan is that you make a difference, because that's kind of really important to me. And through every purchase, we are donating underwear. So our customers make a difference. So it's all about having that. But we've changed them, as you said, for TechPixies. And we've got You Sparkle. Trying to explain that to our manufacturer on the inside of the underwear. Please, can you put You Sparkle? Confuse them for a little while. But we have that, and we have that message. We even have it. So we've got the pajamas as well, and we've got it in those.
Wait. I didn't know you had sparkle pajamas. I'm so excited about this. Oh my gosh.
If we do it, we go big. So we have the bralette. We've actually got we got a scrunchie.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Coordinate in your
so
wildest
anyone who's, and of course the podcast is called Sparkle and Thrive. And the word sparkle for us is supportive, positive, authentic relationships with women who are keen to learn and want to be empowered. So I just love how we've just brought it all together in this. And this is just so fantastic. Incredible. I didn't even know pajamas too. I mean, like blowing my mind.
So, I mean, it kind of sounds silly, but there's so much more behind it. So much more perfect than just kind of having stars on the front of things, because the meaning of what sparkle means is exactly what we're trying to do in a very different way. One is through technology and one is through pants, but effectively it achieves the same thing. So it's actually even better in terms of the collaboration. It's really nice. So yes, we have the full range. You really can coordinate with your sparkly underwear.
Yes, well, of course, I only shop at our gift guide, and we will be adding all of these links and images into the gift guide and promoting them along with your podcast. But first of all, I'm super, super grateful. I'm so thankful to you for putting this together. It's so cool. It's just a dream of mine that's come true. And you did it in such a cool way where you just popped it in the post and was like, hey, by the way, we've done this. And I was like, we have to get you on the podcast. So I think it's important. Let's talk for a minute about the number of pairs of pants you've been able to give away. I mean, this is extraordinary what you've been able to do.
Yeah, so we have a pantometer on our website that ticks over with every pair that we sell. So the different items have different kind of donation models, but basically for the core range, kind of everything that we do, it's a 2-for-1 that supports a charity called Smalls for All. We are just over 38,000 pairs. 38 to 173 something at the moment. It does tick over all the time, and we have a model where they give at least 3 pairs to everybody, so they have a wear, wash, dry cycle essentially. I'm just trying to look at the latest numbers, but that basically means that's nearly 13,000 girls who are still in school as a result. 12,600 or so. So we have this, as I said, the wear, wash, dry, so that everybody can actually stay.
Okay. So if they have 3 pairs of pants, one they're wearing, one they're washing, one's drying, and they can just rotate through those.
Yeah. So
we take for granted how many pants we have. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I first of all, I only wear Y.O.U Underwear. So I don't wear any other underwear. It's the only underwear I wear. And I have to buy every few years, I have to buy my reinforcements as I've worn out the ones that I've got, because I've got the originals that you made. And then I've bought reinforcements over the year. My husband has them as well. My daughter, that's the only pair she wears is the Y.O.U Underwear. So amazing. It's a family. This is a family contribution. The only underwear we wear in our house. I think my son's the only one we got to get on board, but the other 3 of us are on the Y.O.U Underwear. And I think it was because we had, for a while he still was needing his Darth Vader pants and all that stuff. But
he can sparkle too. It's fine.
Now he's almost a teenager. So you've given, would you say 38,000 pairs away, and you're supporting 13,000 girls in having that model?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So it really does. It really does make a difference, which is kind of going back to why I wanted to do this. We've been really fortunate up until now to have a partner that kind of supports us and matches our donations. So we started with buy one, give one. And they, as a corporate partner, understand what we're trying to achieve. and make that direct contribution. So we basically, you buy one pair, we donate one pair, and then they come in and sponsor effectively to donate the second, which has just allowed us to really scale the impact. And really grow that. I set a target when I started of 23,000 pairs by 2023 because it was a nice round number. It was realistic, but a stretch target, to be honest. And we did it over a year early, which is amazing because that's the whole point, is kind of what we can do to help other people, both in this country and internationally, by providing underwear. So we've really blown that out of the water, which I'm so proud of. And we're starting to set kind of targets going forwards for what do we want to do. And just growing things like this with the collaboration, so that it really helps us, because it is all about empowering women. Basically, women are amazing. How can we make that difference? And so, yeah, really pleased with where we've got to and where we're going.
Women are amazing, and what we can do when we put our minds to it is incredible. And I told a story. We did a dream business boot camp last week, and I was telling a story about in my first business that I set up. We ran an event. It was a winter event, and we had everybody come, and we had like 100, 200 people show up, and we had we put together a magazine about all the things you could do in the local area in the winter. And we'd had a sponsor for the event who'd paid for the printing of the magazines and had sponsored the food and things at the event. And at one point he came up to me and he looked at me like almost in a daze, and he said, was it really a group of women who pulled this off? Like, he couldn't believe that everything for this event had been done by women. Like, no men were involved whatsoever, apart from donating a bit of money to make it come off. But like, we had done all the design, and everyone had really done it voluntarily because we didn't have the money to, fund what we were doing. It was to fund the event rather than ourselves. And that was when I sort of realized that there was a real interpretation, especially in Switzerland, that women didn't have the skills to put together, that we didn't have the business prowess to put together an event with all the bits and bobs, on our own. Like, we can do it in an assistant way, but we can't actually from start to finish put something together. And I had I sort of joked with him and I said, yeah, we definitely did. But there was a part of me that had this real, I wasn't offended, but I was sort of on fire. Like, let's go show what we can really do. We're very talented, and we shouldn't be put in a box, and we shouldn't be assistants all of our life. If we have a dream, if we want to do that, fine. But if we have a dream to build a business, we should go and do that. So you have we're a social enterprise, which, and you are a social enterprise too, but you actually have something called a B Corp status. So explain what B Corp is and why it's important, because I think it helps people to understand. I mean, a social enterprise is a company that has a mission statement, that has a social driver underlying its business principles. And TechPixies has exactly that. So we have a clause in our business documentation that says that we are here to close the technology gap for women. That's our mission, that's our vision, and that's what we do. But we also have 51% of our profits have to be reinvested in the mission. They have to be reinvested in the business. And so only 49% can be distributed to our investors if we do a dividend. So that's sort of how we've built our business. And we haven't done the B Corp route, but explain to people what B Corp is and what it means. And also, I think I saw somewhere you're like you're like the top ranked fashion brand in B Corp in Europe. Is that right?
In the world.
In the world. I love it.
Yeah. If we're going to do it. No, it's basically, as you say, so we're a social enterprise as well. So we kind of have that founding principle in terms of investing back into our mission. B Corp for us was something that since I knew about it, it was always on the roadmap, the kind of aspirational, this is what I want to be, because we have the individual certifications. So we're fair trade certified, we've got GOTS for the organic cotton, we're living wage, etc. We have the pieces for the kind of individual elements of what we do. But B Corp sort of sits across everything. It's basically certifying that you meet the highest standards of social and environmental responsibility and transparency and a commitment to continually improve. So they look at, it's a really thorough, rigorous huge amount of work, but real strength in that. And it looks at everything that you do across the business. So as you say, governance is part of that in terms of how you're legally structured. So we have the social enterprise clause in our company articles, and we also have all the B Corp things, which basically says that we will commit to doing this, that we will think about people and planet as well as over profit. So it's about having that bigger purpose. We've also kind of customized ours. So I've had the commitment, the individual commitments that kind of give us our personality as well as a brand. So the commitment to inclusivity, to sizing, to supporting women, to fair trade, to all of those elements, to starting to look at regenerative and that sort of thing, to basically say we can be a profitable business, but we can also have a positive impact. And it maps everything. So your printing, your banking, how you pay people. So it's got 5 different areas at the moment, the certification, and you have to answer loads of questions about that and then prove it, essentially. So they verify the answers, and you have to hit over 80 points. So you get scored and fractions of a point for all the different questions. I think the average business, if they did it, would score about 50. You need to score 80 points to be a certified B Corp. And we certified in 2021 with a score of 160.5. So we were actually the highest in the UK, which is amazing, because it's really important to me, but you never go into it thinking that you're going to do that. It was just about kind of doing the best that we can do, essentially. And it looks at, how you treat workers, how you treat people right the way back through the supply chain, how you treat your customers, the environment, governance, and all 5 of those areas. And we're the highest B Corp in the UK and the highest fashion brand in the world, which is amazing, because for me, it's really important as a small business. So there's a lot of, it's a huge amount of work. There's no denying the kind of commitment and effort behind it. But what I was really proud of is that we could do it as such a small team and say, this is really important. I really want to kind of put my money where my mouth is and walk the walk and say how key this is. And we managed to do that as a small business. And also we managed to do it as a fashion business, because there's so much greenwashing in the fashion industry. It's so harmful. It's one of the most destructive on the planet, and just the consumption, the waste, the pollution, everything. And there's a lot of the big fashion brands, the high street brands, kind of go, you can't do this, it's too difficult. It's like, you can, actually. If you really want to, you can do something different. And that's what it really stands for me, is just trying to challenge that. I think my background, not in fashion, definitely helped, because we could do something different, and I just didn't know how things were done. So we've kind of tackled it very differently, with a principle that we want to leave the world in a better place. And why would you not treat people fairly in that process? So it's something you have to recertify every 3 years. So we're coming up again next year, and it is really about just the high standards, the commitment to people, the commitment to the environment, and continuing to improve. So the expectation is every year you get higher. So I'm definitely feeling the pressure for next year, but it's just about kind of improving what you do, really, as a business. So
absolutely. That's incredible. Well, and I think it's an important topic. Here we are, 2 business women. We've set up our own businesses. We've been running them. You've been running Y.O.U Underwear for 5 years. I've been running TechPixies for 8 years. And we've known each other. I mean, 2 things. One that's sort of fun is we met at a networking event. I think, I don't remember if we just met or if we were speaking. I can't remember, but I do remember meeting you. You were on crutches. You'd just come back from Uganda and you'd done this marathon, and you were on crutches, and you and I started chatting. And I think probably because we were both sporty. You had to have a break from doing running for a while, and I was training, I think probably for the Ironman when we met. That sounds about right. And you'd come back. So we were bonding over our love of long distance running. And then so we stayed in touch. So one thing I will say to people, I talk a lot in our Business Beyond Social course about, you need to be doing a networking activity every week, or if you're not networking, you need to be doing like an event that you're running online, like an online event, or but you need to create an environment where you're meeting people, right? And so here we were at a men networking event, and we've met and we've stayed in touch all along. We've been up against each other for awards over the years. And we're in the same sort of circles, and it's sort of fun. But I think that's the first thing, is to say that, if you're going to build a business as a woman, you do need to, well, a woman or a man, you do need to be out there networking, whether it's like your own online events that you're running or it's events you're attending. That makes a big difference. But then also, something I've been really candid about in the last year, you've built your business without any investment. And I chose to build my business with investment. And however, 2 years ago, when our business went through a really hard time and we lost all the cash overnight in the business, those were choices that I made. I thought they were going to work out. They didn't. As we know, in a small business, the cash flow is quite tight, and as you're building up. And so anyway, one of the interesting things that happened to me was in 2022, and pretty much all of the loans, investments sort of dried up. The last loan we got was in May 2022, and it was a zero interest loan from Corrales, and it was really to actually pay severance and sort of close the chapter on the book up until that point, on the business up until that point, and then sort of restart the business. And that money sort of went to getting us a clean slate from that day. But from basically June of 2022 until now, I've had zero funding, no investments, and no loans. And one of the things I had to do was I had to take on 2 part-time jobs in order to at least still have some cash coming into our family, while I took a break from the business finances and didn't take a salary from the business. And I talk about it openly, because I think it's important when women build businesses that they know that there might be a period of time that you aren't taking a salary in order to grow your business. And Sarah, you at this point are still not taking a salary from your business, but you have consulting contracts that are supporting you personally so that you can build this business. But you have paid employees, and you pay for all your product, and you've got some partnerships and things, but what that journey is like. That journey of having to make the choice not to take money out of the business in order to grow the business. And I've certainly felt that this last year. 100%. So what would you say to women who are starting their own businesses and they are working another job or 2 jobs or 3 jobs on the side to get to the point where they can get the business to a point where it's growing enough that they can take a salary without impacting the growth?
Yeah, I think you've read, there's so many things in what you've just said. I think that's completely normal and fine. And there is no right. I think my biggest kind of learning and takeaway is there is no right way to do this, because you've taken funding. It's just a decision. The one you make at the time, you kind of learn from that, and whatever way you're doing it is the right thing for you. Because I think there's so much pressure that you should be doing this, you should be doing that. If you're not a successful business until you're at this stage, that stage. And I just think there's so much of that anyway. We have all of the additional pressure with responsibilities, families, caring, etc., etc., plus the imposter. There's just so much going on that I think trying to give people the confidence and saying whatever way you're doing it is the right way. And it's a massive sort of spectrum. I think so many people in reality do start their business on the side hustle, family business, whatever, at home, and it sort of grows. I've, over the 5 years, kind of gone through a bit of a cycle in terms of being full-time on the business. The first move into it, and my first employee was in March 2020, about a week before we locked down. And I was just like, oh my, what have I done? Because now I have responsibility for somebody else. It's not just me. I've got somebody else I've got to pay, and everything has shut down. So we actually came out of that positively, because people were locked in and wanting to buy online and support small businesses and having comfy underwear. So we actually had a really good first period. But then when things opened up and we've had to kind of reassess through that, it's very much juggling lots of things. I made the decision not to get funding because I wanted control, to be honest. I wanted the values to be really, really part of it. I wanted to kind of grow it sustainably in terms of not taking on debt and being very self-sufficient in that sense. that was right for us at the time. It's something I'm thinking about again, because in reality, we need a cash injection to help us scale. And the scaling is about having that bigger impact. And we're starting to kind of think about it, going, how do we do this? Because we have all the pieces, but we really need to just grow it. And how do we manage it? As you said, at the moment, I'm working. I'm still doing a couple of days a week for a different business, because that just takes the pressure off me financially. It means I can pay my bills, and it allows me to put extra into the business to help it grow and to help us have a team, which is also really important. It's changed the dynamic since we had the shop, which is where I'm upstairs in the shop today. And it means there's somebody else downstairs serving customers that I can't do 7 days a week and grow the business as well, because it's just not possible. There's only a certain amount you can do from here. So it's kind of having that balance. And as a product business, there's a huge cash flow challenge. Every time we get money into the bank, we just spend it all on more pants, effectively. So there's that kind of decision all the way through that what's the best thing for us now? At the moment, it is me still doing work on the side. I think the hardest thing with that is I love what I do, and I really, really want to be doing it full time. And I feel the pressure of things that I can't do and things I have to turn down and opportunities that I can't take because I just don't have time. And now we've got a team as well. I'm feeling the pressure because I'm the bottleneck, because they're doing all of the stuff. And it's like, have you done this? Have you done that? And it's like, I haven't, because since last week I've been doing other stuff, or I'm in the shop, and it's a constant juggle. Yeah. And I think, there's no right answer to it. It's very much just your circumstances. Going back to your other comment about network and community and peer support, that's really, really important, because I think this is a massive judgment, but men have that historical network, peer groups, old school network, whatever it is.
Boys clubs, men's clubs, gentlemen's clubs. Yeah.
Genuinely. And we have to kind of make our own. And I think things like this, our relationship, the groups that we're part of, they're so, so important, because whether you can support it, whatever stage you're at, there's always learning. There's always somebody. And if nothing else, it's a bit like therapy when you meet and you can kind of go, this is what I'm doing. Because if you have I was about to say proper job, you're not running a business. It's so different. The pressure, the challenges, the highs, lows, the whole thing is just very different. And you need people that are doing that and in that same sort of space at some level to share some of it with, asking for help, getting out there, the networking. I used to run Bold with Annabelle, which also you were part of for a while. So that's a kind of group just bringing amazing women together to kind of do stuff together and support each other. Because I think, as well as historically not having necessarily those same networks and connections, we don't ask for help. We're very independent and we just get on and do it. And actually, for me, when we met and I was on crutches after the trip to Uganda, that was a real difficult time. But I also had to put myself out there and say, I need help. I can't physically do this. I can't get out of the house without somebody helping me. And I've tried to do that in the business as well, and kind of say, how do we do this? Because in reality, most people have done it. There's somebody somewhere that's done it before you. Don't reinvent the wheel. There's a lot of quicker ways of kind of, and just putting yourself out there and saying, this is what I'm struggling with. And even just the act of talking it through and putting it, saying it helps sometimes with the processing and the thinking, and somebody will be able to help you. So I think, that would be my advice as well, is just connect, ask questions, be interested in other people. You never know who you meet. And that's one of the things I love about this. Other businesses, other people that I've met kind of on this journey. And even when I'm in the shop, the customers, it's just amazing. You have the most random conversations with people that are incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think what you've said, everything you've said there is so powerful and important. And, the key takeaway for me too, from what you just said, is exactly that. Everyone's journey is their own journey. But it certainly helps to not be on that journey alone and with other people. And you're right. Actually, I totally, I'd forgotten. That was probably the first sort of, I did. So I did that, I think when I was first starting TechPixies, I did a business course, but your course, Bold, that was the first vision workshop I had done. And it was very powerful, actually. And you had a little notebook that went with it and everything. I still have it. So, and we do vision workshops now at TechPixies almost every single month. And that's an important part of what we do. And so I totally, until you just said that, all of a sudden I had these flood of memories back to like my first vision board and all that stuff. It's all this stuff that I think is so important, what we do and what I've done with Jess Rogers, et cetera. So again, this is in our own, we're both Oxfordshire based. So obviously we both serve clients. You probably serve clients all over the world, but we serve clients all over the UK. And so, but there's infrastructure and networks within your organizations or within your communities. Someone emailed me this week actually and said, I contacted my council and they couldn't point me in the right direction. And I was like, it's not the council. You want to talk to your local enterprise partnership, LEP, local enterprise partnership. It's a really great place for people to get started. Your local enterprise partnership, if you are a service provider, like let's say you teach social media skills or you teach website building skills, or you teach branding, or you teach copywriting, you can run workshops for your local enterprise partnership. And then you'll get clients off the back of running those workshops. You'll get paid for the workshops by the local enterprise partnership, but then people will want to work with you who've attended those workshops. So that's a great way to get involved if you're a service provider. And then equally, if you're someone who needs help with specific things, you need a website built, you need a database built, you need things. There's actually funding and training and support within those local enterprise partnerships. And that's one of the first places that I started. I can't remember what event we were both at, though. It was a women's event. It was at one of the colleges in Oxford.
Yeah, my memory.
I can't remember, but it was. So yeah, it was a fun event, and we met it. And in fact, I think one of my investors came out of that event as well. So you just don't know who you're going to meet when you go to events, and I think that's important to have events on your calendar, to be networking, to be connecting with people. I love this, Julia. Heifer's listening to the podcast and she says, this is so inspiring. Having other women around you to help and support as trusted advisors has been pivotal in her business. She's part of our mastermind. We have a mastermind at TechPixies for women who are running businesses and do want to scale up those businesses. So she's in that group and we all support each other and it's really important. But
I think it is, because networking is always one of those words that just puts fear in people. Because of what it's historically been, in terms of you walk into a room, you don't know anybody and you're like, oh my God, this is so hard. But I think actually it's just interest and connections and the human side of it, and taking that away. It's like you're not going in there with any preconceptions or with anything that you necessarily, I don't approach it with anything that I need to get out of it. I'm just like, there's going to be some interesting people here. I can have some interesting conversations. And I think if you can step back as well, it's that valuable time out of your business. Because one thing I've really noticed, I am too close in it every day. Half the time you can't see the wood for the trees. And just talking to somebody and getting different context, you and I at one level have very much crossover, but also work in very different spaces. And it's just really nice to hear those conversations, and you can get so much, and you have some of your best kind of thinking time when you're away from your business. And that's another thing that kind of networking and groups and support provide, because you can just hear other people's experiences and just get out of the closeness of it.
Well, I'm a big fan of giving ideas, and then you get ideas in return, things that you hadn't thought about before. And totally,
it's much easier to help somebody else than it is solve your own problems as well, because it's really obvious. Like, why don't you try this? That, it's just it's a really nice.
And you're not emotionally invested in someone else's business. So if you say, try this, and the great thing is half the time it works and sometimes it doesn't, but then that sparks them on to doing something else. But it's this idea that actually you're less afraid to give an idea to somebody else than you are to try out an idea yourself. And actually by connecting in that way, you're bringing, everybody's benefiting.
Yeah. And the OSEP, so the Social Enterprise Partnership, the OXLEP, Oxfordshire Local Enterprise Partnership, the library in Oxford has got a business resource centre that's something to do, I can't remember the acronym, but I've done events with Enterprise Nation in there that I was running, and they are brilliant. They've got business resource centre that gives you access to kind of all the everything that's connected to like the British Library. So that's another place if you're sort of starting off. And there are some really good groups around that you can just meet people and get out there.
Yeah, and actually I've spoken for the British Library on a national stage, and that I think they've got some amazing resources as well. So yeah, you're in Oxford, of course, we have the Oxford Social Enterprise Partnership as well as the Oxford Local Enterprise Partnership. But what you want to be looking for in your own area is organizations that are, within the local enterprise partnership or the social enterprise partnership, looking for that, because it does make a huge difference. And I think we've both benefited massively from that. Well, we are going to have to wrap this podcast up, but as a reminder, we have introduced the Y.O.U Sparkle Pants from Y.O.U Underwear, and not only that, but Sarah, hold the other bits up. We've got
the bralettes, which we've had for a little while.
Yes.
But we wanted the positive pants to go with it.
And the positive
pants, scrunchy.
Yeah.
And pajama bottom, which are amazing. And they have pockets. It's like,
I'm so excited. Well, don't tell my team what I'm getting them for Christmas. Shh, don't tell anybody. We will link to all of these amazing, beautiful products in our gift guide, techpixies.com/gift guide. And so that way you can go get your hands on them before Christmas. And of course, we know sparkle pants are for all year round, right? You don't have to wear them just at Christmas time. They are, and by buying one pair, you are giving now. So they're giving 2 pairs to a girl. Yeah. Yep. So two pairs to a girl who needs them. And that is so important. And we really want to support that mission. So I can see us doing some sort of a sparkle pants photo shoot with the TechPixies.
I would love that, because it's all about showing real bodies, celebrating that. It's something that is actually terrifying, but very empowering in a slightly strange way. We have a lot of people that have shared their photos in their underwear. We've got a whole load of positive kind of affirmations in our changing room, and it's just about celebrating perfectly imperfect bodies. And I would absolutely love that. Anybody that's up for doing it would be really, because it's really nice. And if you can't be that person that, then it just helps to have a range of bodies and shapes and sizes and everything in our images, because that's what we need to see in this industry. So very happy to do that. Get our sparkly, big, brave pants on and get out there. So yeah, anybody that's happy to do that, we would embrace it.
Yeah, I think we'll get that planned in the new year for sure. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sarah. And where can people find Y.O.U Underwear if they would like to buy some to put under their Christmas tree this year?
Yep. So either on our website. So we have a website called youunderwear.com, all lowercase, all one word, youunderwear.com. Everything's on that, and that's available around the UK, internationally, etc., 24/7, and in our shop. So we have a little space in the Covered Market in Oxford, in the centre of Oxford, right in the centre of the market by the main post box, where we have our full range of everything. A really nice space that we're trying to create here to sell the underwear, support other local businesses as well. We've got other makers and other products, and some of our recycling as well. So we collect old underwear, collect bras to also support people. So you can drop off that here as well and come and see me and the team.
Awesome. And we will add you to our gift guide as well, techpixies.com/gift guide. Thank you again, Sarah. I so appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Thank you again. Lovely to see you, and hopefully catch you in person, the 3D
Yes, in the shop. I'm going to pop into the shop. All right. Brilliant. Well, that was wonderful to get to catch up with an entrepreneur who I've known for a long time, who I've competed against for awards, and who I have a lot of respect for. So whether you're in Oxford or not, you can order her pants online, and we will be adding them to the gift guide so that you can grab them straight off of our website. And if you've just joined us now at the end and you're watching live, we have these Y.O.U Sparkle Pants that are a collaboration between Y.O.U Underwear and TechPixies. And of course, Sparkle stands for supportive, positive, authentic relationships with women who are keen to learn and want to be empowered. And you'll be able to get the whole episode and download it anywhere that podcasts are available. And you'll be able to purchase your own Sparkle Pants and get them before Christmas if you want to get them now. And otherwise, they'll, like we said, Sarah and I said, you can wear Sparkle Pants any time of the year. It doesn't just have to be at Christmas. So thank you for giving us your ears, your eyes, and your attentiveness today. And I appreciate you so much for being a regular Sparkle and Thrive listener. If you haven't in a while, feel free to leave a review on our podcast. I love reading the reviews. Also, if you have any ideas for podcasts you'd like to hear in 2024, we're putting together the calendar. So email us at support@techpixies.com. And otherwise, I hope you have a fantastic run up to Christmas. We will continue to publish a couple podcasts and let you know when they are coming out. We send them out on Wednesdays, but we will also be sending some other podcasts, some best of 2023, some compilations that you might want to catch up if you've missed any in the last year. So that'll be coming out as well around the New Year time. So I'm excited to be able to bring even more podcasts to you. And for now, have a great day, have a great evening, have a great afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are listening to this. Bye for now.